Hey guys, welcome to Permission to Hustle. We are talking today how to organize your life for 2020. Can you believe that 2020 is already here? I feel like I always say this at the end of the month, at the end of every year, but gosh, 2019 went by in a flash. It really went by fast and furious, and here we are, embarking on a brand new decade. That is crazy to me. But I really want this video to be about how you can organize your life, yourself, for 2020 to honestly make it the best year possible for yourself. And I don't mean that to sound hokey, and I don't mean that to sound like probably everybody else out there is talking about, let's make 2020 the best year yet. I really want to give you guys some takeaways that you really can take 2020 and make it the best year for you personally. And how do you do that, right? How do you make a year the best year that it possibly can be? Well, you have to make sure you're organized, and you have to make sure that you are structured and that you are truly strategized and aligned with what it is that you want out of the next year. 365 days. We kind of break it down like that. 365 days, we know it goes by in a flash. We know it goes by super fast, but the point is you have to get yourself ready for it, all right? So yesterday I did something that I haven't done in forever. That was, usually if you know me, my cell phone is literally always like inches away from me. Inches. I'm online, I'm on apps, I'm texting, everything. Yesterday, my sons wanted to go play flag football with their friends at a park in our town, and they picked the park with no reception. I mean, I'm talking like, I'm like this all around the park with my cell phone, nothing. So I finally decided, you know what? This is the universe's way of saying, do not go online, go sit and actually think about 2019 and think about 2020, where you want to go and what you want to do. Because one thing that I feel like a lot of people do right now is think really big for 2020, which is the way you should, guys. I think big all the time. I am a glass is half full any day, anywhere, anytime. That is who I am as a person. I am just a positive person as it is. But this is something that I think is really important for everybody to remember when we come to a new year. Thinking big and strategizing gigantically is amazing for big picture. How you make stuff happen is when you look at where you want to go and find a plan as to how to get there. And that's when the organization and the strategizing comes in. My biggest piece of advice for you is to take each day and kind of break it down by each month. So I'm thinking 2020, and I'm thinking this is where I would love to be in December 2020. This is really what I want to do. This is how I want to change. This is what I want to bring in. This is how I want to reinvent. But I know that the only way that I'm going to get there is I have to do the step and the work over the next 365 days to get there. And it's just too much, right? It's a lot to bring in. It's like, oh my God, I know where I want to go, but how the hell am I going to get there? Well, this is where the organization comes in, okay? This is what I want you to do over the next, hopefully, whenever you hear this video, you hear this video or you watch this podcast or listen or watch, whatever it is, in April or June or whatever the heck you listen to this, start now, start today, okay? It's a new year, okay? If you don't start January 1st, it's all right. Start January 16th or February 11th or March 20th or April 2nd or May 23rd. Start whenever you listen to this, okay? Because it doesn't mean that you just have to start on January 1st. But what I do believe is this. Look at the next 30 days, okay? So this podcast video is being shot to be up before January 1st, 2020, okay? And this is what I'm thinking and hoping that anyone that gets to listen to this or watch this in that time frame can do. Look at January of 2020. And I want you to actually look and think and see what you could do in that block of time, that chunk of a month that's going to get you to where you need to be, okay? Because you know ultimately what you want to do. If you work in corporate America and you want that job that you've been looking at for like months, then that's your goal. If you have a script and you're a movie maker, a filmmaker, or an author, and you really want that script of that book to get out into the world, you know where you want to go. If you are a blogger like me and you want to get more page views or you want to bring in more income or you want to get more sponsored content, you know where you need to go, but you need to get there. We all know where we need to go, but we need to know how to get there. And I want you to really stop and think about when you're organizing your life for 2020, take it in chunks by a month. Okay. Sometimes I feel like when we throw so much out there, we get so overwhelmed that our body almost instinctively starts to like go into like negative mode. You don't want to go into negative mode. You want to stay in positive mode. And the way that you can do that is to take things in smaller chunks. So look at January of 2020, or look at February or March or April and say, this is what I want to do in this month. Maybe it's, you send an email one day to somebody. Maybe it's you make that phone call that one day. It doesn't mean that every single day has to be this unbelievable, huge chunk of stuff. But when you do one thing, at least one thing every day in a chunk of a month, that's at least 30 things that you have done to get you closer to where you want to be. All right. If you want to bring in new clients, maybe you've given yourself the goal that every day this month, I want to send an email or a call or something out to a new client. So at the end of the month, I can at least look back and say, you know what? I put 30 feelers out there. I reached out to 30 potential clients. Maybe one of them will come through. Maybe half of them will. You just never know until you do it. So I really want you to start thinking and organizing and strategizing 2020 in that way. Really start to break it down. Look at what you want to do and then figure out how to get there. Okay. So, listen, when we are going on a trip, right? We're going on a road trip. You get your phone, you pull up Waze, and you see how long it's going to take to get there. I see what states I'm going to go through. I see where the closest Dunkin' Donuts is. I see where the closest gas station is. All these little things, I know once I know them, will get me to where I need to go. So you have to think of that in terms of your goals and your dreams too. You know where you want to go, but you got to get there. You got to get in the driver's seat and you got to get there. And the other thing that you really need to do when you're organizing and streamlining your life for 2020 is you have to block out everybody else. Because we've seen the quote so many times where, somebody's success story, it was not an overnight success story. Or you can't compare your now to somebody's wow there. And you also can't compare yourself to other people. It's just an impossibility. People work at different paces. People have different personalities. People have teams of people helping them. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. Everybody works at different paces, at different times, at different structures, and in different circumstances. And you need to always remember that. Social media, as much as I love it, it's my job, it's my livelihood, but it also can be a double-edged sword just in terms of having people look at other people and think, wow, now they're lucky. Like, look at that. Well, we don't know their story and we don't know their budget and we don't know what's behind that story. All you know is what's behind you and your story and your goals and your dreams, okay? And in order to organize and streamline yourself, you take it in small chunks, you look at where you need to go, you find a way, you give yourself a roadmap to get there. And you can't compare yourself to other people. That is going to be a huge obstacle. And then another piece too that I want to add in to streamline and organizing your life in 2020 is find a group. Maybe it's one person, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's local, maybe it's not. Find a group of women that you can rely on and talk to help strategize. One of our biggest pieces of advice is to find people that probably don't do what you do. Okay. One of the best things that I have found is when I'm talking to other people that either don't blog about what I blog about, don't even do what I do. These women give awesome advice because they're not in it as thick and as ingrained and as personal and as emotional as you are. I have a friend who actually doesn't even have a social media account. She's not even on Facebook, which horrifies me on every level. How can you not be on Facebook? But she's a friend from college, and she's somebody that I love checking in with because when I talk to her and tell her what I'm doing and tell her hey, listen, I'm having trouble, Laura. I need help me think through this. She comes up with ideas that I never, ever, ever would have thought about or even dreamt about. But because she's not in it, she can see clearer than I can see. And I can do the same for her in her line of work. So really find that group or that person in 2020. It's not easy to find. I'm not even going to kid you that it's an easy thing to find. But when you put it out into the universe and you ask friends, hey, listen, I'm looking for a mastermind group. I'm looking for a group of women. We could talk once a month and that's it. Find those people. Find those people because they will really help you. It's a great resource to have. And then the last piece of advice to organize yourself for 2020 and to really streamline yourself and get yourself aligned as to where it is that you should go and you want to go is always remember that everybody out there has to start somewhere, all right? And I think that one of the biggest things that we don't do is look at how much we've done. And if you really want to find a way to organize and streamline your life, like I was saying at the beginning, a decade, we have a new decade upon us. When I look back to 2010 and I see how far I've come in 10 years, it's pretty amazing. right? And because we're so in the thick of it with ourselves and we all just do, we don't stop and actually give ourselves sometimes the pat on the back that we need. And when we look back and say, wow, like this is what I've done over the last 10 years or the last year, and this worked for me and this didn't work for me. Go with the stuff that's worked for you. This is a great way to organize and streamline because it's personal to you. And this is why I want to end with this tip is find what works for you and do that over the next year. If you maybe work really well waking up in the morning and working out and getting that workout and your blood pumping, and you can look back and go, you know what, the days that I felt the most motivated and the most creative and just my best self was the days that I worked out in the morning. The other days I felt sluggish and crappy and I was tired. Then find a way over the next year to bring a workout into your life in the morning. All right. Maybe you're going to look back and go, you know what? I worked really well with other people. You know, usually I kind of just do things on my own. And to be honest with you, I love collaborating. I love partnering up on things. Then bring more of that into your life in 2019. I mean, 2020, not 2019, 2020. Bring more of that into your life in 2020. Look back at what worked. Find the ways that worked for you in 2019 and then bring all of that into 2020. Organize yourself. Maybe you're going to look at yourself and go, you know what? My office is a dump. But the days that I actually took the time to organize, file, I'm looking at my desk right now, it looks like a bomb hit. Organize, do things. Then do that more in 2020. You know that you work better not in chaos. That's like a really great thing for you to learn. I feel like everybody is probably that way, right? Maybe you work better when you invested and hired a babysitter to help you out 2 or 3 days a week so you could get a lot of work done in the afternoons or in the evenings. What worked well for you in 2019 is going to organize you the best way possible in 2020. It's going to help you strategize better in 2020. And not maybe even just 2019, before that too. What has worked really well for you? Keep doing more of that. Maybe your goal this year is to hire an assistant or a team member, right? So maybe figure out a way in 2020 that you can bring in a little bit of extra income to pay for that. Or maybe that is your big goal for 2020. Like, I really need to hire somebody. I see it working for other people in 2019, friends of mine, and I really know that this is something that's going to help change me and bring me to the next level. We all know what is going to work better for us. We just need to implement these strategies for ourselves. It's very easy to talk. It's very easy to share information. It's very easy to know. It's not always easy to do. So really allow yourself in 2020, when you're organizing and strategizing, to do the things that work for you. Do the things that matter. Do the things that you know will bring you to the next level, because that's what we all should be doing to really get ourselves to where we want to be. All right. So that's what I want this video to be about, right? Look at this. I'm in my office too. We're going to end with it's backwards, right? Good vibes only in 2020. Also, too, we'll be doing another video later on vision boards. I have a vision board. I've always had one in my office. It's to my left. You can't see it, but it is one thing that's really worked for me in terms of a strategy to keep me streamlined and keep me motivated. Forget the organization piece of it. Sometimes we just need good old-fashioned motivation or accountability. And a vision board works really well for that. We're going to do a full video on that as well. But I wanted to just pop this up today because 2020 is almost here. This is going live on December 30th. So I want to make sure that you guys really get yourself ready for 2020. Get yourself organized. Get yourself strategized. Find that word that's going to be your mantra over 2020. I actually have my word. It's very different than any word that I've had at any other time. And it's a little scary for me, but I do feel like it is the best word for me over the next year. And I'm not even going to share it. I feel like there are some things that we have to keep to the core because they are things that really will, at this moment in time, help us explode in a good way. So get your word. If you don't want to share your word, don't share it. I don't feel like that it has to be on display for everybody. Some things are personal, and work is a very personal thing, especially too for someone like me. But I really encourage you to get out there, find your word, find your strategies that are going to work for you, organize yourself, and always remember why you started what you're doing. All right. Well, there was a reason we all started what we're doing. It may be a big reason. It might be a small reason. We may have stumbled into it. It may have just been by pure luck. It doesn't matter. But remember that reason why you started, because that hopefully will get the juices pumping and keep you smiling and keep you motivated and excited about what you do Other than that, happy 2020, everybody. Happy New Year. So excited for you guys to be on this journey over the next year. We have a lot of things planned, a lot of exciting things coming. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Permission to Hustle. Check us out on Instagram, Permission to Hustle. Make sure you subscribe so you get all of our videos. Hit that notification bell so when we pop up a new video, you know it's there. Other than that, guys, have an awesome, healthy, happy, fruitful, happy New Year.